Hi, I'm Isai German. I am an innovation specialist at a local elementary school here in Los Angeles. My role in that school is promoting project-based learning, doing hands-on projects, and doing implementing empathy-based design principles.
I'm super excited to be talking to you, having this conversation about what you do.
Yes, man.
Can you tell me a little bit about the kind of projects you've created for your students in the past, and how
Sure. So
technology and innovation?
Sure. So the class is called Innovation. It's all project based. So I get the whole school, kindergarten through six. So depending on the grade level, they each have a project. So what we do with the smaller kids, the K through second grade, I like to do I call it story to STEM. So I read them a story because I really want them to. They're naturally more engaged when I read them a story, and then from that story I pull I'm able to pull a project from there. And then basically we're learning a lot of the manipulatives and the types of motor skills because they're still building that up. So whenever we do a project, I always try to teach them motor skill or even like cutting tape. That was a big thing when I first started, like the kindergartners, the 5-year-olds, they didn't know how to cut tape from like a tape roll. So I just showing them how to do that, like using 4 fingers, two pull towards you, two away, and that was a big success because they were very excited because that way they became independent. So that was a big success. So simple things starting off like that is what we do with those K through second, and then we start getting more into technology as we get into the upper grades. This past year, we started doing a lot of virtual reality. So creating a virtual reality environment and what it took to design that environment. Really trying to plan before we build because a lot of our students just love to just go ahead and go into the building. I want them to understand like the planning process is a big part of this. And then the upper grades are using like the fifth and sixth, we use tools. So we're working with tools from miter, which is a saw that cuts big pieces of wood, and then we know the difference between a driver and a drill. They build furniture. That's one of the big things that is a big success is like everybody design, build their furniture, do some little bit of history with learning the types of furniture they have, like the style, aesthetic, and then they get to take it home.
Amazing. This is great. I feel like your students really walk away with a wide variety of concepts, everything around like creativity and innovation, which is, I think, why this conversation is ideal to have with you in terms of how you feel technology is changing the landscape of education because you were able to think outside the box. So my question to you, my first question is, how has your job changed in reference to the things that have been happening in our world lately?
Yeah, so the obviously we don't have the same environment as we did before. We don't have a classroom full of all the materials. We don't have a classroom full of tools. So having the access to this at home is completely different. And the 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 teaching part where I'm able to get in front of them and show them how to use these materials or how to put something together, how to attach them. Obviously, I don't have that instruction piece in front of me. I don't have them in front of me anymore. So that's changed because now I have to figure out like, okay, what resources do they have at home? Like everybody has cereal boxes, everybody has cardboard, everybody hopefully has tape. So just using these materials that they have at home is where I'm able to create a project. I'm still like being able to do the reading component to it, but now I do an ebook and then I just record the ebook, me reading the ebook, and then they play it, and then I show them what the challenge is. I always call it some sort of engineering challenge or something that's innovative that they can do. And then hopefully they send me some pictures of their projects. Not everyone sends me pictures. That's another thing. I don't have a communication with every single student like I did before. I get just a certain percentage of kids that are super like they want to express and show the detail that they've done in the project. And yeah, that's something new. What else have we done? We record a lot of stuff because I feel if I do it live, when I have a big class, like 21 students, when I have 21 students on Zoom, they're all going to have different materials. They're all going to have questions. So I feel if I record myself, then that gives them an opportunity to like play back, pause, work on their project. So they have that flexibility versus when we're live. I think everybody's going to be on a different page. So that's what we do now. We just record something and we send them the link, and then they're able to do the project at home.
And this is not new technology. I mean, these chat rooms and these video conferencing calls have been available for over 10 years. You know, it's been very common. It's just the technology, the rollout from 4G to 5G allowed for there to be a larger saturation of video transference or exchange. So now we're able to have more video because of the new technology that's available. And now we're able to have full classrooms with over 20 to 100 people even on calls, I think. And that's, so it's for the first time in history, because of this 5G rollout, we're able to have that. And so I think that's an interesting, we're at an interesting point in history where like classroom settings are changing, and the way that we conduct businesses on a global scale, from education to like other fields, are really transforming. So your job as a teacher has been heavily impacted, or not heavily impacted, but you're being introduced to new tools, and which means your role as an educator is changing in a sense, because now you're not just in a physical setting in IRL, but you're also in a digital setting, and you had to learn those tools on your own, right?
Well, not only for us, but also like for students, and a lot of the time when they say students, it's really the parents. The parents, when they get home, a lot of them are they all have different rules on technology at home. A lot of parents don't want their students to be on screen the full day, which is understandable. And others, and then the availability of having internet availability, of having a printer. Like we started sending a lot of like packets and pages. Links to our students and families, and we found out like not everybody has a printer, because they printed everything that we had for them was always packets that were sent at home. So the availability, if there's a family of 3 students, but they only have one laptop, like everybody has to share the laptop, because there wasn't a need for each student to have a laptop at home, or they just had one family computer. So it's just being able to divvy up the resources that they have at home, or just understanding like what resources there is for every student and every family. So we try to be as accommodating to everybody. I think that's why the recording of a lot of the lessons, a lot of the reading and projects have been done in this way, where we record now and they just have a link and they can watch it any time of the day.
Great. Next question. What are corporate companies doing using technology? What tools are they using and providing for students in today's world?
Yeah, well, what's really great, what's happening now, a lot of the educational companies, the resources that we normally go to, where they've always charged a subscription fee, or they charge for their services, a lot of them are opening up and giving these opportunities for free now. So it's a lot of great resources, not only for educators, but also for parents and families. A lot of the times, it required for them to buy a material or project, or one of their products, and now they're able to have these products for free, where you could just download this product and be able to print it and build out this significant thing that they would normally have to pay for. So we're taking advantage of it. I know a lot of the parents are taking advantage of it, and it's not just online time. I feel like a lot of parents just feel like whenever you're in front of a computer, it's just you're just playing something to keep them entertained. But a lot of the time, they're actually challenging, and it's rewarding. It's educational. So we're trying to really promote that with parents. It's like, hey, there's a lot of stuff out there that's bridged that technology and education. And I think this is the perfect time to have them see that.
Great. So it's a time for humans, or for people, parents especially, to understand that technology is not a tool for idle time, or just to supplement what kids are doing, but rather it could become a central part of their development.
Exactly.
it's the central part rather than a supplement.
Correct.
Which is an interesting thing to use a computer in that way. And I think for I've had computers all my life, and I grew up with it as a primary tool for. I learned video editing. I learned things at the age of like 8. I had that privilege, and so now I think it's becoming part of our society to have these tools at a younger age, and it's and I think that's a really interesting and great thing for kids to learn these tools at a younger age, because then it'll allow for more opportunities in the future with jobs as they get older.
Correct, because you're building up a skill set. Yeah, ultimately what we want to do is build up a skill set for them to solve problems and be able to have a career out of this. So I think that's where we're trying to really bridge that. And I think it's parents are seeing it. So I think there's a lot of successes in that. Failures as well, and that's what we do. We learn from failures, but we're all in this and we're all learning together.
Yeah, I'm also really intrigued by so I think if we are moving into a higher technological age, is on a major scale at this point, because school district. Actually, let me just ask you the question: are school districts forcing or implementing these things as a rule? Are all school districts doing that? I know you're in a private school setting, but from your understanding, what if there are schools that don't have access to students don't have access to technology? How are they doing that right now?
So from my understanding, I've seen a lot of big tech companies providing free Wi-Fi, free hotspots. So they're opening up all those channels for people to use, for a lot of students to use that type of technology. I know a lot of schools are lending out laptops and iPads or tablets of some sort. So I know everybody's really trying to provide these resources for everybody. We have those resources at our campus, so we're able to lend out those laptops for our students. So
I think it's really important that our governments begin to see that we are becoming more technological. Another question: what is the future of education? I think we kind of answered that a little bit, but in terms of long distance learning, the impact that this is going to have. I think we just kind of touched on that. But any more that you want to add to this concept?
Yeah, I think it really shows. It really shows the global impact it had. Like this situation really shows what we look like as a global community. How we're able to get resources not just from our school, from our neighborhood, from our city, but we're able to get resources and communicate and talk with people from other states, other countries, and just being able to share information. I think that's what technology has been able to do, share that information. And now it's instant. Like if I needed something directly, I can get it emailed or I can get a link to it, and be able to provide that for our students. So I think that's that where distance learning is. We kind of got a little sneak peek of it and we're seeing the successes. So I think it's going to be implemented a lot more, and just making those connections and see what a third grade class is in our classroom and seeing what it looks like in Japan. Just making those resources. It's like, hey, there's more than just us in this world. So I think that's where we're really happy. Just really promoting that.
So there's going to be teachers watching this and asking to themselves, like, tell me what free tools are available to me, So what is accessible for the public?
So there's so many stuff. There's so much stuff out there. I always say find something that you're personally interested in. I know I like very specific types of technology. So I'm very big on architecture. I'm very big on CAD work, so computer-aided design. So those type of things I'm passionate about. So if I know that I'm passionate about it when I show my students, then they'll be really excited as well. So what I recommending your passion, whether it's like from baking to because in baking there's chemistry involved, there's measuring. So being able to pull all these things out in your passion, and then being able to find those, just Google and research it. Because everybody right now is offering a lot of things that normally would have had a subscription or a cost is free. So I would take advantage of it now. Yesterday I just had 3 webinars from 3 different companies, and they're offering a lot of the services for free. So I really took advantage of that, and being able to download and preview a lot of things that normally would have had a significant fee. So that's what I recommend. Just finding something you're passionate about, then just searching for it.
Got it. So doing the Google searches, searching on yeah. So once you have a good Google search going, and with the keywords like free and supplements and tools, digital tools for education, I think it'll guide people to where they need to be. And anyhow,
Yeah, educator.
anything else that you want to talk about in relationship to our current state of affairs with the world and our changing landscape of education and technology? Anything else you want to leave our viewers with?
I think, yeah, we just have to be, and this is what we tell our students, we just have to be, just create an environment where we show them, give them inspiration. And I think if the way the situation is happening now, where we show them like, look, there's a world problem, and how do we, what we're doing now is building students up so they can be problem solvers. So whenever we have situations like this in the world, like they have the resources, they have the knowledge, and they will be able to be problem solvers and also be empathetic and showing like what's happening on our side of the world might happen on the other side of the world, and how we can help together. So I think there's empathy that we need to show for other people. There has to be that innate love that we have for another, but also being problem solvers. And I think we have to be able to show the students like what we're doing now is so we can show you to be a great problem solver.
Awesome. Well, Isai, thank you so much for your time. And if anyone wants to get a hold of you, can you tell us how they can reach you?
Oh, sure. I will maybe send you an email. You can just look at my name, Isai German at gmail.com, ISAIGERMAN. And yeah, I can forward you some great resources.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Isai.
Of course, anytime.
Bye.
Bye.